3 cost, 7 attack, earth action, pitches for red. What the hell was LSS thinking by even printing Autumn's Touch? Thank God it was suspended. The most broken card ever. That and more this week in Outcast Haven podcast. Yeah, I mean, Autumn's Touch, whew, all the text that card has, I mean, just broken. Thank God they suspended. I mean, could you imagine if they said, hey, it's less than 100 points, it's just Living Legend, new Bravo now? I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would that's the absolute most insane, ridiculous thing. Anybody that thinks that, you're effing insane. They did the right thing. Get rid of Autumn's Touch. Other decks that want it, screw you. We want to keep Bravo around because
yeah.
I guess
I'm really happy because I wanted Starvo to get hit. So when they hit Starvo as hard as they hit him, I was really happy about it because it's like taking, a handful of cards and making them 2 blocks instead of 3 blocks is crazy. Like, so yeah, it's especially because he blocks all the time. So
yeah, it's good that they did. It's good that they did Autumn's Touch too, because like if you really think about it, like those are the best cards in the deck. Oakenold, like people were talking about touching Oakenold, and let's be honest, like that just wouldn't have affected the deck the way Autumn's Touch does. So I'm happy that they went Autumn's Touch and not Oakenold, because Oakenold would not have been the correct hit. It doesn't affect the deck enough. It doesn't do enough to be worthy of a ban.
Dude, the consistency of being able to like so consistently reveal Autumn's Touch is fucking terrible. It feels so bad.
Getting hit for 7 Dominate Go Again is so much worse than 13 Dominate Go Again and discard 2 random, or bottom deck 2 random
bottom
cards.
deck them. Oakenold's not
you bottom
bad.
deck them.
It's bottom deck.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people are so bothered by it that they actually are willing to cheat and get caught cheating.
I genuinely,
so that they just get tossed. They get DQ'd because they're so, like, you get that first turn Oakenold, and I say the only thing you can do at that point, first turn Oakenold, you got to immediately cheat, so that way they just DQ you and get you out of it, because nobody wants to sit through that game.
All right.
Oh, wait, before we touch that, well, I want to stay on the scheduled ban. I'm going to be straight honest, super negative vibe. I called the airlines to see if I could cancel my flights to New Jersey. I absolutely have no want to play in this meta any further.
Oh, dude, I want to go to New Jersey super bad still, though. Like, I want to see, like, the artists. I want to meet, like, all the people coming in from... You don't want to meet, like, all the people coming from other countries? Like,
yeah, I mean, but some of the ones I meet don't come in, and it's just... I don't know. It's a lot of money to go when I was excited, because I was under the impression by their previous posts that they were just going to get rid of him, like they should have. But he's still, the percentage of players playing him are going to be the same that they were pre-awakening in Autumn's Touch.
Yeah, I think my biggest gripe,
changing.
Yeah, my biggest gripe with the whole situation is 100% the fact that they have done everything in their power, like absolutely everything within their power, to get him to Living Legend, so that it would just kind of solve itself. Like, my frustration, I think, lies mostly in the fact that they did everything in their power to get him there, and basically use Living Legend as the balancing tool, which they have preached is not what Living Legend is for. That the whole description of Living Legend is like, we will not use Living Legend as a balancing tool. It won't happen. But then it felt like, after people realized he wouldn't hit Living Legend by the Pro Tour, they were like, well, let's just hustle, let's change things, let's do whatever we can, because he's strong enough that we can just get him there and force it, and then we kind of get it. It felt like they were trying to use Living Legend as like a get out of jail free card. It, like that's what it felt like to me. It felt like rather than just pull the trigger and say, you know what, we're just going to take him out, because that's clearly what we're trying to do. They're like, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to let it ride. And then they hit other stuff, which makes no sense to me. That was my big thing.
That's what confused me the most, is because it genuinely seemed like they made the corrections to make it a good meta as if Starvo had gotten considerably hit. Like Starvo's gone. Viscerai, so like let's tone Viscerai back. Let's hit Bloodsheath. All right, we're not going to touch Prism because other decks are going to come in once Starvo's gone, because there's going to be decks that are going to be able to come in and handle Prism, and she's not going to be able to run her 27 aura package anymore. That's the feel bad build, because Starvo's not going to be gatekeeping all of these other like aggressive, more mid-rangey decks, whatever it is, right? And then they don't hit Starvo. Like they that's not a meaningful hit, right? I haven't heard any Starvo players like, well, can't play him now. Not a single one.
Yeah.
There is none. People that are on are going to continue to play him. I think he'll be highly represented.
Yeah.
What also frustrates
because he's still
me
good.
as a player who plays Briar, you take Blue Autumn's Touch, which was a nice card, or Yellow if you want block. I mean, that card was a great card in Briar, and you take Bloodsheath Skeleton. Some people, that 2 block when you have your full equipment suite and you can block Command and Conquer with equipment, and you can do certain things like that. Getting rid of that 1 block heavily affects that deck, because there's pivot turns in CC, especially when you're playing Briar going super aggro, where you need to just lash out mass amounts of damage to be in the game, because you have a lot of 2 blocks and you're not really running D-reacts. So I hate the fact that if you suspend it, I don't understand why you can't suspend certain cards with heroes.
Yeah, I think they should have suspended Sonata, because that's the problem card for Bloodsheath right now, is the interaction
Viscerai,
with Sonata for Viscerai.
I think that hits Briar as well, because Sonata and Briar getting 1 attack, 1 arcane helps that deck be a relevant deck.
Right. Yeah.
So
I think
that
the
deck's
issue
been hit twice, one directly, 1 indirectly now.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing too is that there's a lot of things to me that frustrate me about it. Like, I mean, there are a lot of things I can tolerate when it comes to, banner restricted and stuff, and things that frustrate me and things that don't. Plenty of stuff frustrated me about this. I think the most of which is probably the fact that, by comparison, what they did to Starvo is not even in the same neighborhood as what they did to Chain or Briar. If you look at what they did to Chain and Briar, no, Chain and Briar, when Chain and Briar,
power,
right? When they were, when they were dominating the meta at the level of Starvo, which they weren't even dominating it as much, they nerfed them significantly harder. They hit them a lot harder, because at the time Chain didn't have access to Spellbound Creepers. He didn't have access to Captain's Call when they took away seeds from him, so it slowed him down significantly. And then with Briar, like, when you look at what they did to Briar, I mean, that's a Godfather moment. Like they massacred my boy. Like they took Plunder Run from her. They took away her embodiment, bottomless embodiment. They took away Ball Lightning. It's like a big chunk of her strategy was just gutted from her.
And the crazy part, because everybody bitches about this, let the meta evolve, there'll be a solution. There was a solution to Briar. Briar was solved. Briar was 100% solved with Bravo and Oldham.
Yeah.
Which would have allowed Prism to come back in. They didn't allow that meta to get solved. Yet they're letting this meta go on forever. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it, because it feels out of balance. Like it feels like what they've done is out of balance. It's like a classic. This is like a classic courtroom moment, right? We have precedents. You've given us precedents. We know what precedence is for banning. You are willing to gut decks if necessary, or take away big parts of their strategy. And instead of using precedents to punish Starvo, you were like, okay, we know that the last 2 decks that did this, they got like 10 years in the gulag. Like we really punished them for this. Starvo, we're disappointed in you. We're very disappointed in what you're doing. Like I just don't get it. I don't get it all.
Starvo comes from a family of means. He's like parents kind of parent. And he's
exactly.
Go to your room for like the night. We'll have the maid bring you dinner.
He probably enjoys that knowing Bravo. So Awakening, no surprises, that got banned. We're not even going to talk about that. It's no shock that card got banned. So here's my question, and this is just me not knowing. Did I miss something? What broke Heart and Cross Strap? What's the deck that? Because I have no idea why. Because I loved playing it in Prism. Because what deck broke Heart and Cross Strap that it needed banning?
Are you talking in Blitz?
Yeah,
because it's banned in Blitz.
We don't care about that format.
Yeah, I mean,
well, no, because we do have a point on the Blitz banning.
There's some crazy. Blitz was like that was
Yeah.
I felt like I walked into a bar.
Deck broke it.
Oh,
so Heart and Cross Strap is just a card that people were using to like leverage certain strategies, where one of the big ones, obviously, like you could use it in Katsu, but obviously no one's playing Katsu. The trick is that if you play it with max velocity in Dash, so people were playing like a boost Dash with Heart and Cross Strap, where you would load the shotgun, and basically it was James White's deck, right? Like you could load the shotgun and do the what's the motorcycle card? T-Bone. You would just go T-Bone. You'd go T-Bone,
or T-Bone,
and then max velocity
0 to 60.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Yep. You would go like three boost attacks, break Heart and Cross Strap, hit him with the max velocity, and then it's like you could just super punish somebody with effectively a no resource hand. If max velocity in Arsenal, you could go 4 0 cost attacks wide, and then max velocity them for 10 to finish it. It was crazy.
So I'll give you my issue with that now. I'm going to bitch about that card. So this is, which I usually don't care, but this goes, so you take people that are new to the game, don't have a tunic yet. Run Heart and Cross Strap. That'll get you that free attack. It's good value. No, you're just going to have to buy a tunic. Sorry.
Well, now you got to run Vest of the First Fist.
Vest of the First Fist. Honestly, I liked Vest of the... Well, it depends on the build, but like Vest of the First Fist was sided in some matchups anyways in that boost dash build. But
I mean, Vest is tough because you have to hit in order to do it. So if somebody sees it and they can full block your first 4 attacks, then they don't take max velocity. They never get touched with it.
Yeah,
it's like they can stop max velocity. But I mean, if you go 3-3-3-3 or whatever, and you have armor, or it's like an Oldham deck, just like dunks on you super hard. You'll never get the hit. So
I
don't know.
Now I want Blake to bitch about the worst part of this ban list, because I made a point at the first skirmish to Blake that it's related to this. What's that?
Yeah. I know what we're going to talk about, and I just want to know why. Like, why would they do
this? I don't know. I'm super frustrated. Obviously, anybody who watches our channel knows how much I love Kano. Everybody locally knows how much I love Kano, and I play. That's the only deck I play in Blitz. I tried this year. I was like, I'm going to play more Blitz decks for skirmish season. I'm going to build them. I built 3 Blitz decks other than Kano. Only ever played Kano, because why would I play anything but Kano? He's Kano. He's the best. He's best. He's best boy. And when I was reading through this, and I'm like, that's kind of dumb. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Bloodsheath seems excessive. I'm like, oh, Viscera. I got down, and I was like, Snapback. Okay, that's interesting. So it's just because they don't like its interaction with Wildfire. Still don't like that, because Wildfire is the busted card. Then I saw Stir the Aetherwind, and I almost lost it. Like it's like the gif of the guy where he just stands up and whips the table at the guy and just storms off. Like, for the life of me, I don't understand how the same people looked at a group of cards constructed in Blitz and said Starvo will be punished with Autumn's Touch, Kano will be punished with 1 piece from each of his combos. So now he has no combos. He just has to play the game fair in a format where in one skirmish
no one's playing fair.
No one's playing fair. I had a KO hit me for 14 on turn 1. I
That's
only
it?
have 15 life.
I had KO.
It was the same KO you played.
Was it the one that hit me for
It was the same
25?
guy.
It was
25 dominate.
Yeah. I was like,
Yep.
yeah, I physically can't. So thank you.
Yeah, so it's like they make that deck, right? Like they're fine with that deck existing because it's like, well, it's high roll. It's like, yeah, so is Kano. Like Kano wins on turn 1 or 2 by high roll, by seeing Aether Wildfire with a snapback or a Stir and a Wildfire into a snapback. He doesn't win because those cards just happen to come upon it, like into his hand. You need to see them in order to play it, and they're in the deck, and you already punish him with 15 life, or it's like you give him a 5 life deficit. It's like I don't understand for the life of me how the same group of people in the same BNR could be okay with Autumn's Touch for Starvo, which has absolutely mauled an entire format and is the most dominant deck in the history of Flesh and Blood. Nobody can argue that. It's the only deck that's this close to Living Legend. And then they look at Kano and they say, we need to do something about Kano because he is a problem. And in their own write-up, they say, while his win percentage across the skirmish season wasn't at a level that we consider problematic. If it wasn't a problem, why did you do something about it? Like,
So,
I don't understand it.
my frustration is the first skirmish. Watched the end of, or watched some of Blake's play. My games were fast too. I was playing Cheyenne. I either lost or won fast, it seemed like. And I went up to Blake. I said, Aether Wildfire, amazing for CC, should be banned in Blitz. I said that to him on the first day running that card should be banned.
Yes.
The only
I
reason they
agreed
didn't ban it in
100%.
Blitz is because it's new. That's the only reason they didn't ban it.
It really felt like it.
If they would have banned that, because not only did Kano get hit, but Icelander was turning into a cool deck.
Yeah.
That there was
She needed
multiple
both of those
builds. Cards. Yeah. And people were figuring her out. And you're like, we're just gonna F her because she needed Stir. She needs Stir and she needs Snapback. Because she can't action cheat the same way that Kano can. And you just pull those valuable resources. It's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. My biggest gripe with it is the fact that, like, with a lot of these things, I have a gripe with the fact that it's happening now. I don't personally, I'm not a fan. I know some people are okay with it. Some people like it. Some people think it's great and it shows initiative on a company's part. I don't like preemptive bans. I don't like them. I don't think it's the right way to play a game. I think you need to actually.
Yeah, sorry.
If it's objectively a hard counter to a specific deck, I didn't have a problem with Drone going away because Drone invalidated Prism's strategy. It gave every deck a bottomless loop of 6 power cards. You didn't need to put 9 6-power cards in to break up Prism's Heralds. You just put 3 red drones, and especially if you shuffled your deck, you would
drone banned way before Prism was a thing.
Drone was
drone was banned for a good reason other than that being
right.
Future proofing was not why they banned drone.
Right,
which
but
I think is valid. But
right.
you're not wrong. But you're not wrong. It would have been.
You're right. It would have been banned probably right before it. So they knew Prism was coming. They've been testing Prism. All of those sets were tested. So they knew Prism was coming. It wasn't like Prism was a made up hero after Drone existed.
Yeah.
They've said that Prism existed with Drone, so they knew that it was a problem. I'm just saying I don't like preemptive bans. If you think that something in Icelander was going to be a problem and have nasty interaction with something from Uprising, then you ban it on June 24th. You don't ban it on May 2nd. You don't need to ban something 2 months in advance. It makes no sense.
Have Duskblade. Let us play with Duskblade, please.
But I mean, Duskblade, everybody realized it was broken, and they gave it to us in Blitz for a while to basically prove to us how broken it was.
Preemptive ban if everyone thinks it.
I mean, but it was tested by the community. You put it out there in front of the community, and with chain it was broken. I get it. They preemptively banned one thing and it was correct. What I'm saying is there is nothing currently in the game that is negatively impacted any more than it currently is by the changes. These changes don't interact with anything because there's nothing coming out. There's no new cards between now and June 24th. There are no new cards.
Yeah, you won me over to this line of thinking because like I have thought for a long time that Bloodsheath really, it doesn't, like there's always ways around it. But when we talk about, and we have talked about a lot in the past, design space and what they have available to them. And Bloodsheath, I've always thought like that's really kind of a hindering aspect of design space. Every generic card that they make, they can't, without consideration, balance it with a higher cost because they also need to then say, well, what if it's free? This is an awesome attack or this is an awesome non-attack, does this really cool stuff. Let's make it a 5 cost. It's like, okay, but what about free? And it's like they have to balance it like that for everything that they come out with, every generic, because like Bloodsheath can just make it free, basically.
They didn't ban it in Blitz.
I don't care. I really don't care about Blitz.
No, but I know Blake's. It's there. It's there. You don't care about it, but it's a format that they support.
It does exist.
So regardless,
and they say it's
I'm not,
the format.
But, okay, and it's not even that I don't care about it. That's just not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about just in general. Right.
But in general, you're talking about design space for a card that was only banned in one of their formats.
And this is just, so I'm saying that I have thought this part of it, and that was my initial defense of when Blake and I were in our other chat this morning. We were talking about how I felt like it was good. I can see why they would suspend it because basically it's just like a less heavy-handed ban. You're suspending it. Could it be suspended as soon as Viserai hits Living Legend? So suspend it with Briar. And then so it's like, yes, instead of banning it, they're suspending it. But to Blake's point, and something that he turned me around on, is that there's no need for it now. And if they had hit Starvo as hard as they've hit these other tier 0, tier 1, whatever you want to call them, decks in the past, like Briar and Chain, if they had hit Starvo like that, I think that this Bloodsheath suspension is more palatable because it's like, okay, I can kind of see the argument for like being worried about that interaction being the running rampant interaction. Fine. But they didn't. They just nerfed Contender. They're like, this deck might cause our Living Legend boy problems. Let's nerf him, I guess.
Yeah.
But you pulled me around on the fact that I think that there does need to be something that warrants it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now, Viserai, that interaction is not making anybody flip tables. They're not sick of seeing it. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. So as far as like the whole future proofing thing, like that doesn't apply right now, really.
The whole thing, like what frustrates me the most is actually, because I actually read the article for the ban, is some of their wording and what they're like, oh yeah, we know it's gonna affect that, but you guys can do it. You can adjust and still until the suspension's over. Just fucking live in Legends him, for the love of God. None of this would happen. Boom, done, problem solved. We can have a new meta for the Pro Tour. But alas, we will not.
Yeah. I think overall, like it's weird, right? Because there are people who they think it's great. They think it's enough. They think it's changed everything.
Ready?
Yeah.
I have tinfoil hat. Ready?
Okay.
I think that LSS wants to prove yet again how they listen to the community, and they have been planning the whole time to hit Starvo, and they just soft-handed it this time because it's a week before they said they were even going to release it, right? They're like, let's soft-hand this, and then we're going to come in with the fucking hammer and be like, just kidding, community. We listened to your feedback. This is the ban list that we came up with, and we think it's going to be good, but we try to take what you said into consideration. It's what they've been planning the whole time. Tinfoil hat theory.
I do think that we're in an interesting situation with LSS as a company and their interaction with the community. I think that we're actually in a very weird balancing point where one of the things that we all have loved up to this point is how hands-on LSS is, how involved they are. And
Good.
I still love it.
This.
I think it's great. I love it that LSS is involved. I do, however, think that being too involved and being too into the community and having so many people in the Facebook group that work for the company, people don't like to admit it, but mob mentality is a thing. And they don't like to think that it's like, no. I am a very strong-willed person. I would never be convinced by another group of people to do something. I would never. It's like, okay, cool. Welcome to the human race.
Tell me you're an idiot
it's real.
Telling me you're an idiot. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me you don't understand human psychology without telling me you don't understand human psychology. But it's scientifically proven, people. So if everybody in that company is in the Facebook
movie The
group,
Wave, yeah. Come on.
Have you? Oh, I thought you were talking about like at a sporting event. It's 100% true, right? Like everybody's, you're like, wait,
works both ways.
Both are applicable. Yeah.
It's applicable. Like it's 100%. You know, people who don't want to stand up at they got a beer and a hot dog, and they're like, okay, I'll just stand up and sit back down.
Anyways, I've been digressing you.
Anyways, I think that there is definitely this weird situation now where they're so involved that I'm worried that they are getting a little skewed at times by the perspective of the community.
The goddamn New Zealanders.
They are very nice people. I think it's actually a problem that they're so nice. If these were American designers, they would have done the opposite. They would have just hard banned everything to prove a point.
I'm talking about like Matt and Nick and Kale and all them. They're just like,
gotcha.
LSS's year. Yeah. Kale's like,
yeah.
I got this new Starvo list. Like, he's not broken. It's Bloodsheath. I know that's not what's happening, but I
actually think it's interesting because if you notice the Facebook group, it was like Starvo's broken, and then all of a sudden the discourse in the Facebook group was very heavily pointed in the direction of like, well, if Starvo gets banned, Viserai is going to be broken. It was nothing but Viserai is a bully. Viserai is going to be a bully. Viserai is going to be the best deck in the format. He's going to be the next thing. You're going to have to ban him. He's going to get Living Legend in no time. And meanwhile, it's just like, do you really believe so little in the balance of the game and people's ability to find balance that you think if we just go, okay, Starvo doesn't get to play anymore, people would just be like, I just can't beat Viserai. I can't. It's like, okay, so is Swarming Gloomveil that good? Is Revel and Runeblood that good that we got those two cards? And people are like, deck's broken, man. Like, Viserai got beat up by Guardians for so long. Like, he got bullied by Guardians for so long. But because, God forbid, we have two new cards now. So he's unbeatable. There's just no way Guardians can handle what Viserai... Like, Viserai would get beat by Oldhim. Like, he would. But the OTK strategy does like invalidate Oldhim to some degree, but that's literally their only win con. It's the only thing they can do is OTK him with like 30 rune chance. It's the only way they beat him.
That's a fairly good win con in that matchup, though.
Well, yeah,
to be fair,
right? Except for the fact that Oldhim has like gotten pretty aggressive now.
Yeah, it's adjusted.
Then again,
things adjust. That's crazy.
But then again, you know why they had to take Bloodsheath, because they took Awakening. So Oldham's the classic, like, he's the peripheral damage. Like, he's the guy who's standing on the side and they're like, Awakening sucks, take it. And Oldham's like, oh, come on, man. Like, that was my catch-up mechanic. I don't get go again on my Oakenolds. I have to play an Oakenold fair.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I'm glad that you brought up the whole community thing and like the size of LSS and their interaction and stuff, because I'm putting on my tinfoil hat tonight. I should make one, but this whole spoilers coming out, I personally dig the way that they're doing the spoilers. I don't have a problem with the community not being given spoilers all the time. I loved it when they did it, and I supported the content creators and wanted to like make sure that they were getting their credit and stuff. But I don't inherently think that that's something that we not deserve, but like that we are owed, right? It's like, so they're doing this. Right. I kind of see it as like a more stern, like, we're not giving you spoilers and we also are not going to explain ourselves because we're the company, and that's cool. I'm actually down for that. Like, just spoil them do what you see fit, because at this point I trust you.
You didn't read the articles. There's a spoiler season coming in June.
Oh, is there?
So
okay. So actually, because the articles just came out, like, we're doing this like 2 hours, 3 hours after the articles came out, and I've been with my family, so I saw like the art and stuff, but cool. So I can own that.
Spoilers.
That's
season.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna wrap it back in though. I'm gonna wrap it back in. That's the end of that thought.
Okay.
You're cutting that out?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say,
in.
you don't get to cut out your mistakes. All right.
Oh, no. I leave your guys in. I'm gonna leave mine in. You kidding me? No. So I hadn't read that. So that's cool. I kind of wish they would have just. I'm happy that we're getting them. I am, but I wouldn't have been upset. And
well, I don't know that we will get them, but I'm just
probably
saying
not anymore.
It says that
but
spoiler season is starting in June 6th.
That's cool.
Yeah.
My theory though was that they were going to not give the community spoilers and then see what content creators bitched about it, and then just gave spoilers next season to people that didn't complain.
But I think, to me, that's not so much the community. That's different than mom mentality. The spoiler things is pretty much what every TCG and what every board.
Oh yeah, I wasn't talking about mom mentality.
By giving it out, I think that will continue. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they cut back on it just because it's a lot of work and just do a couple here and there. Which,
the thing is, like, the organization and sending it out and like that taxes them a lot. I have to imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
that's why
it does
I thought,
help.
honestly, that's why I was not surprised and not taking offense to the fact that they were just releasing the stuff. I was like, cool, they're growing and they're making big boy plays.
I think the reason that it's okay that they'll continue to do it and it is not really that big of a deal that it's like taxing on them is the fact that, unlike other TCGs, they do the 3 sets a year versus the 62 sets a year that a lot of other sets or other games seem to do, where it's like every 2 months they have a full set. They've got starters in between and expansions and anniversary boxes and all these different things. It's like, it'd be hard to keep up with that, but as a company, it's nice that the 3 sets a year definitely help.
Now, on that note, then, what else have I missed? What else is cool in the articles that I have not read yet? Very obviously,
that was like just something it said in like one of their like tweet type things. It wasn't the article, it was just something they said that starts. I didn't read most of this either. I just looked at the pretty pictures.
Yep.
That's all my brain can handle.
Which are very pretty.
And we will be getting into for sure.
Yeah.
But
now that our uprising has happened,
I'm uprising
now we can,
as we speak,
look at the actual uprising, which I will say one thing, and me and Blake agree on this heavily. The artwork Rise from the Ashes might be like top 5 ever in this game, and a playmat of that
need it.
Pretty damn awesome. Just, it is such an amazing piece of art. I love it. I wish that was a character, because she is way more proportionately balanced than the actual character.
Is what's Rise from the Ashes? What class is that for?
Right. Rise from the, so it's just
a picture.
It's just a picture. Yeah, it's you guys from
keep
the
talking
article.
about like saying these. I think that they're card names. What you're saying or something.
No,
like,
this
I
is
keep thinking
nothing is card names.
Spoilers. Okay.
No, it's just, in the bottom right corner. They just title
on the picture.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
They just title the pictures.
No, I love my favorite art. So is that your favorite art so far that's been spoiled, Jason?
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Okay. I like Thaw more. I love the dichotomy in that, like the red and the blue. Like, I just love, like, I think it's a really pretty like picture, and like it kind of, I don't know, it's got more going on. It's more, no, that's not true, because Rise from the Ashes is super dynamic, but I like Thaw more. Just I would rather have that on my wall than Rise from the Ashes. That's where I stand. I love red blue though. I played red blue for fun in Magic. Like, that was, don't care what it was. Give me that fucking otter, baby.
I have to find now I have to find what Thaw looks like again. I don't remember.
It's the one that's it's
frozen,
like the cold.
It's a frozen lady with like the Kano fire coming into her hand.
Yeah, it's super interesting because the art so far is definitely in everything I expected from Volcor. Like, I will say that is it's very, very, some would say maybe draconic. It's very dragon oriented.
Dragons
in
are
the way
other
that it
things too,
functions.
guys. Doesn't have to just
Yeah.
be fire dragons. Come on.
I mean, but that's what they're going with.
I do love the 3 dragons. Well, the one looks like it's
Yes.
almost like an energy breath that's like purpley, like
Yes,
a
yeah, it does
beam
have a
coming
little
out.
more.
I'm down
Yeah.
for some crazy dragon shenanigans.
I'm very curious what the interaction will be with that and how they build it, right? Because one of the things that always interests me is whenever we think we figured out how they operate, they
Usurp
like subvert.
expectations.
Yeah, they definitely like
Usurp,
mess with
subvert,
us.
That's the word.
Subvert expectations. Like, because when we talked about this, we've talked about this before with like Raiden. When we first got Raiden, we thought, oh, he's a warrior. That means he's weapon focused, because warriors
Bolton.
are all about their weapons. Or Bolton, yeah. And we thought he's all about his weapon. He has to be. So then we get Bolton and we realize he's a ton of attack actions. And you realize what makes him a warrior is the challenge in blocking him. Is
Yeah.
what he presents difficult blocking like points to you.
Mhm.
And you have to try to figure it out. And that's what warriors do, not the other way around. And then it's like, okay, well, illusionists are all about, these heralds with phantasm. That's like so far what we've seen. But then when you look at the new one, it points out that she summons or creates these dragon allies. And they're allies. They're not like they're allies, which is different, obviously, than what we see with Prism, where she creates the auras. So,
Well,
I'm
are they for
very
sure
interested.
she doesn't do auras at all? She just does allies.
It doesn't say that she doesn't do auras. It's just that
Okay.
the dragons are her thing. It says that
Gotcha.
it references her as conjuring the legendary dragons of Volcor.
Yep.
There's
I'd
a
be
lot of
very
auras.
sad if it was just like a reskin of Prism, but like instead of the heralds, it's dragons. That would be sad. I wouldn't want that. I would
Well,
want
she's
there
not
be
going
some
to have.
crazy thing.
Right now, she has 0 heralds, obviously, and she has 0.
No, what I'm saying is like if they changed like the heralds from Solana to be like dragons in Volcor, like reskinning her mechanics with just dragon shit instead of herald shit, I'd be sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting though, because so far what we've seen in the game is we've only seen 2 allies. Like, that's what we've seen so far. But both of those allies are hard to get out. And it appears as though, based on what the art says, or what the art seems to show us, is that she has 3 dragon allies. And I would assume, because they're 6 power, 6 health, they are not easy to get out, because just putting them on the board, that's a relatively scary thing to just be like, oh, hey, we've seen what happens with Siege Chain when Ursa was too easy to get out. Is it's just like 6 go again, 6 go again. And you're like, for the love of God, man, like I can't do this. This can't happen again. I can't do it again. So I'm curious what they're going to do with her, because the dragon actually that they revealed is scarier than Ursa, because if you build, she seems to want to have a red heavy deck. It's attacking for 6 and potentially 3 arcane. So that's
approximately 6. 6 arcane.
Twice the number, yeah. So potentially 6 and 6. So it's like 3 Rosetta Thorns. You get hit with 3 Rosetta Thorns simultaneously. Get wrecked.
I believe in LSS. They usually don't put out broken decks. I'm sure it's going to be fine.
I mean, I hope it's cool. I love dragons. I love dragons. Have always been so cool. Like, I don't know why dragons are just one of those things I've always loved dragons in fantasy.
They're fucking sweet.
Yeah, dragons are cool.
Yeah, so ever since Matthew McConaughey leapt from that building into the mouth of that dragon, I've always been like, I'm on board. I want dragons. I want the art style, the aesthetic. It's all fucking badass.
I used to like dragons a lot more, but because of dragon shield sleeves, honestly, I've become desensitized to dragons.
They're just not as cool.
So I see this and I'm like, oh, look at it. It's a box. It's a dragon shield box
art. They're gonna release like some art from this set, and you're gonna be like, what's gonna be cool though is you're gonna be able to go out and buy probably some really dope sleeves that already exist, and just sleeve up Dromai with
They
them.
match too good. It's not my style.
I know you gotta go.
Too good.
You got the Dragon Ball Super sleeves. Dragons in the name. You got it.
I think.
Oh, you need to get some Shenron sleeves. You would love some Shenron sleeves. Yeah,
Shenron sleeves would be cool.
I could do some wish mastering. See, I could get down with that, or actually just the Dragon Balls, like just literally the Dragon Balls as sleeves.
Yeah.
I think that's what we got to do now.
There's got to be a crossover in there somewhere with like Dragon Balls and her summon.
You need 7 Dragon Stones to summon her Dragon allies.
I mean, I love it.
Oh God, that would crack me up. She's doing because she wants to lose 5 pounds, though. That's the only reason she's going for those Dragon Balls.
She's trying to get the Dragon Stones so she can lose a little weight. She can look 5 years younger.
5 years younger, yeah.
5 years younger, or 5 centimeters taller.
5 centimeters taller.
Okay, that's Frieza. Sorry. Yeah, we're getting all crossed here, crossing our wires.
It's okay because the best meme so far in relation to this is the one about Fi. It says, "That's not Fi. That's Prince Zuko from the legendary Western animation Avatar: The Last Airbender." 100% the best meme. You don't know who Zuko is? You have to look
Avatar,
up Zuko
The Last Airbender.
Is it Zuko from Greece? Zuko's from Greece. I know Zuko from Greece, right?
Wrong Zuko. Very wrong Zuko.
Not the one. That's not the one you're looking for. You're looking for Zuko.
Have you not watched The Last Airbender? That's actually a pretty solid watch. You'd like that. The Fire Nation attacks.
It's very good, yeah.
Plot twist. Very not in line with this set.
Yes. Lord Ozai also, his silhouette definitely doesn't look like Kano at all when he's all royal garbed up. Doesn't look like Kano. Actually, he looks exactly like Kano. Although I will say the best part about Lord Ozai is, of course, that he's voiced by maybe the best voice actor of all time, Mark Hamill. Not only does he play Luke Skywalker, but Mark Hamill, when he does voice acting, he only picks great roles. Fire Lord Ozai, the Joker.
I love red and black of this set, right? Uprising. I do like the colors and this aesthetic. This is my aesthetic favorites. My disappointments that I'm super disappointed on this set are the fact that one, Rise from the Ashes was not the character art, because that hero would have been
none of the character art. I knew that wasn't going to be the character art though, because it's too cool. Yeah. That's too cool of like the character arts are typically more like standard. You know what I mean? Like in what was the one that everyone thought was going to be the illusionist was the lady with the staff. Illuminate. Yeah, like that art was way too dynamic and cool. Like that was not going to be the character art.
And then the other part is on the Flames article. In Flames article, the second picture is absolutely Cheyenne. I mean, she's got.
So I didn't know people didn't realize that. Like that. Like it's. I thought it was. Like,
I totally missed it at first.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I totally would.
No, but I'm saying we don't know that it's Cheyenne. It could be anybody.
Could be another member of the Gemini. So my head canon.
Nobody. That joke just does not go over.
Yeah, we ignore it.
It's really upsetting.
You made it already. You already made it.
We don't even know who it is. I know. Yes, because everybody heard me make it earlier. Thank you. My disappointment is that she is not an adult hero. There would have been so much like with Volcor traits or draconic traits, whatever they're called for this set. There would have been so much build space for her to make a really cool deck.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe next supplemental set, maybe they'll just
So supplemental set, I think is I do like 4 heroes. Maybe it's just because I like to get the extra hero per set, and it spreads out where people are going. So I'm not a fan of the 3 heroes. I do like the 4 hero sets a little bit more.
Is it for sure only 3 heroes a set? Did I miss that too? It announced 3.
They released the Blitz decks. There's only 2.
Yeah, there's 2 Blitz decks because Icelander is already out. She already exists in the game. So from what you can tell, or everything that they've kind of like put out so far, it's just the Blitz decks are Fi and Dromai, and you have Icelander coming. And they in the description of it, they say that they talk about the 3 of them in the like little block of text.
Yeah, so the Blitz thing, it says 8 decks per display, 4 of each hero. So that means
there's only two
coming.
Blitz, yeah.
So okay, is Dromai just Azula? Like, is that? There's too many. I'm getting too many similarities here. Is that what that is?
I mean, it's definitely.
Is Azula? That's from Ghostbusters. She does look a little bit like the crazy chick from Ghostbusters. Azula. I'm in the right.
Azula.
That's what we're talking about, right?
We're definitely talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Prince Zuko's sister Azula is like the crazy. I'm on board with the Fire Nation, dude. You got to watch it. It's good.
Yeah.
If you're ever bored out of shows.
I've come up 10 years from my last movie that I guessed. Okay, I was in the 70s with Grease. I'm up to the 80s with Ghostbusters, like 84.
Yeah, you're right there.
I'm gonna make it up here eventually.
You can do it.
I mean, Avatar, like, actually is not. It's pretty old now at this point, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was.
I mean, not like Jason old, but like it's old.
Yeah, no, right. Like early. It was early 2000s, like 2006, 7, something like that.
I think so.
I'm looking at her character now to see.
Well, she's Azula and Zuko are definitely there. Firelord Ozai is definitely Kano. So now we just need to find out that Zuko he ran away from his throne.
I mean, you got Icelander, who is oh fuck,
Katara.
Katara. Yep.
Yeah.
But Azula looks like in a picture spitting out ice or water. Oh wait, no, there's like lightning coming around. Oh, she is.
The firebenders, they could channel.
That's a double ripoff.
Lightning.
That is a double rip. I've never seen it, and I'm calling that's a double ripoff right now. That is a confirmed double ripoff of two characters.
Do you see Firelord Ozai? Look at Ozai. Look at Ozai. Okay. That's Kano. That's like Kano when he gets a little older. Like 100%. Like all these characters are. They all look like. Volkor is
the first picture I see, legitimately, it's like the Avatar wiki fandom is the fire coming out and there's Kano's head, but it says Ozai, so they got it wrong right here, whatever that is, because I'm looking at Kano.
Yes.
So who is the huge Airbender fan from LSS that just like we're just gonna isn't that Azula or whatever these people's name? I mean, it's like
I don't hate it. I'll be honest. Like I'm fine with it. I like it. Think, it's cool. It's a no. It's like comfort. It's like comfort art for me. Yeah.
100%. At this point, we all understand that LSS likes art that reminds us of other things, names that are very on the nose. Like I loved somebody. They were like, okay, so if we get Kano in the supplemental set, and he gets the Bravo treatment, can we name him? Is his name going to be Volcano? And you're like, do you not realize that that's where his name comes from? Already, like the Kano is a reference to volcano, as in from Volcor, where you see the giant volcano on the art. It's very on the nose. It's like they weren't dancing around the idea that Kano is named after volcano. Like,
dude, I thought it was really crazy how prisms, like prisms actually refract light like an illusion. That's crazy.
Like an illusion.
No, that's fake. Light. That's not real science. It's fake.
That's fake science. Yep.
It's like, hey, you can. No, you can't.
You can. Nope.
The sad thing is, what I thought it was funny is like thinking about that because someone had a Drano comment too. 100% Drano takes it. Like people will refer to him as Drano and not Volcano.
Yep.
Just out of like ease,
spite,
and it's funny, and it's like it's shorter. It's easier to say.
Yeah,
2 syllables.
I'm gonna call him
2-syllable.
I'm gonna call him K2. I'm gonna call him K2.
K2.
I'm gonna go ride the K2. It sounds bad.
I can live with that. Yeah, I mean anything.
If it's Draconic Kano, it's just gonna be Drano, and that's what everyone's gonna have to live with.
To him as that. Yeah, and they can flush that name right down the toilet. Is what they can do with that comment.
See, I'm trying to throw out some like old man jokes that you'd be a little laugh at. He's like Drano. I know what that does. I'm a homeowner.
Jason's not a millennial.
He owns my brain with your little riddles, Dane. Oh, by the way, speaking of riddles, I watched the new Batman last night with my son.
Okay.
And interesting.
I want to point out,
Except-
we have so much to talk about in Fab World. I love that we're
that's fine.
still going off the rails. Anyways,
Why would we
go ahead.
not?
It's
Yeah.
part of what we do.
This is
I
gonna be
mean,
a long ass
it's-
podcast,
he
by
is-
the way.
He is super emo in that. It's like they should have called
Yeah.
it emo Batman, not the Batman.
it's year one Batman. That's the year one from the comics. It's his first year being Batman. He's still trying to figure himself out. That's like it's pretty on par with the Batman comics of that era.
Oh,
Of his time.
I like the darkness. So I like the Riddle dark. I liked a lot of that movie and the darkness
Dude,
of it. It was really
I
good.
saw, it's so funny. I saw a meme where someone was like, am I getting older or is this? And it was like ... And then it just showed the Batman movies over the years just
Yes,
gradually
yeah,
get like
yeah.
darker and darker and like
Yeah,
visually darker, like not thematically, but like where you can't see shit anymore. And I was like,
yes.
yeah, that's a good point. Brighten that shit up.
It doesn't have to go that dark.
Yeah, it's like,
Batman.
you're just in
Yeah, I'm talking
darkness the whole
darkness.
time.
Yeah, Batman 2032.
I know
You're just
you
gonna
were
get
talking
sound.
theme. I know you were
It's
talking
just gonna be sound.
thematically,
Yes,
Jason. I
yes,
got you.
yes.
But I meant it was just
mean,
funny that
Jim Carrey's Riddler was pretty. Whew,
bright
that
off the wall.
performance. Yeah,
I mean, you
So
mean Ace
anyway,
Ventura,
the Batman. Very
Ace
interesting.
Ventura green suit Riddler?
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah,
crossover.
he
movie?
reskinned. It was a reskinned.
It was a reskin. Yeah.
yeah, reskin.
All I know is that now that we have Icelander, it gives us the opportunity to spend a significant amount of our time playing people as like Mr. Freeze and using Mr. Freeze quotes because Schwarzenegger's
Mr.
Mr.
Freeze
Freeze
sleeves.
quotes.
Ice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. It's
So,
like
funny thing about
the amount of things.
Icelander,
Let's kick some ice.
the
just so
last skirmish at the source, we were talking after a game. I was playing good old Bravo, playing against Icelander, and I'm like, if they make her an adult, I would 100% all aboard playing that deck. I would love that deck in CC. So we were talking about that, just how awesome it would be to see her in CC. So I'm very happy that they did that because she's a super cool hero. And I really like what you can. A lot of flexibility. A lot of flexibility. We don't have.
Blake and I have already basically. I think we've basically already committed, and I know I have. I think Blake has. Like you said, you were excited from the beginning as soon as you saw like some of her spoilers. Like,
yeah, I mean,
dude, that is what we wanted. That's what we wanted Lexi to be. These cards coming out is what we were hoping Lexi was going to bring. Just like that consistent control element. So,
could you imagine if you had her in this current meta? We might not even be bitching about bans because she legitimately made you react with what she did. She had enough cards that would pull resources from Bravo in the form of cards, so he couldn't do his reveals and couldn't do everything he wanted to do. A true control deck. The fact, thematically, maybe she didn't fit in Aria. Why couldn't she gone to the traveling circus on the way to Volcor? I don't know. I haven't looked at a map. I don't know if that's the way you go or not. But if you would have put her in this hero set, I think we would have had a completely different meta.
Yeah,
she could have controlled Viscerai, challenging, still be challenged and hard to fight. Prism, I think the dynamic would have been really amazing. And he wouldn't have had as many living legend points. I think this would have helped hold him down. That's a theory. I don't know, but she's a true control deck.
Do you think? Okay, tell me what you guys think about this. I hope that we get a fourth hero, and I hope that it's Ice. I don't like the imbalance. My brain doesn't like the imbalance right now.
Yeah, I mean, so here's
not a board.
Do you think of it as like a perfect triangle? Sometimes will that help your brain?
No, because two of the points are one thing and one of the point is another, and that's not a perfect triangle.
So here's the reason I think that it actually works really well, though, is because I think it'll be interesting to see what draft and sealed is like, because it's very much a
don't draft
Ice. If you're the Ice drafter, if you read that people are afraid of it, you get all of the cards for your hero.
I see what you're saying.
But then if too many people draft it, you'll get super punished for it. And it'll be like having 5 people in an 8-person draft pod trying to draft Briar. That would be terrible if that happened and you were ever there. That was hilariously bad.
So stupid question. And trying to figure out for draftability because the names matter. Like Phi and Dromai, like, do we know what the play on words there is? Like, what their other ability might be?
Fire and Dragon, probably.
Yeah.
That's it? You just think fire is just fire? Fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just thought, I was hoping there'd be a crossover like they did. If that's true, what you just said, and there's no mixing of abilities like there was in Tales.
Well, I mean, I think
going to be a very unbalanced drafting experience.
I think Phi and Dromai are both going to be draconian or what is it?
Draconic.
What are they calling it?
Right.
Draconic.
Yep.
They're both going to be draconic. And like you're going to have Icelander be ice. And I think that's where like being able to read the draft pool is actually going to be super important, because if you think that people are afraid of Icelander because they don't want to accidentally have 3 people trying to get access to the 1/3 of the card pool, then if you read that and then just get to Dracon, like you can put yourself in a position where you're better off. But if you read that, hey, you know, I think a bunch of people are just going to go Icelander here because they think they're going to be the sneaky one, you might be able to pick up a ton of the Draconic cards and have a huge advantage. A lot of it really is going to, I mean, having 3 different classes is going to be huge because there's no fighting over class cards. You're only fighting over the Draconic cards or the ice cards. So then it just matters how they balance it in terms of like how much of the pool is going to be ice and Draconic, and what they do with those cards in terms of like the spread. Is it an even spread where you're going to have half and half in every pack, or is it going to be split in the ratio of heroes, right? Is every pack going to have, you know, 1 ice card and 2 Draconic cards on average? Because if that's the case, then you're going to have a pretty even draft pool anyway, as long as the right number of people are drafting the right number of heroes.
Right.
But I mean, eight people drafting 3 heroes is interesting anyway. The math on it is weird because if there's 4 heroes, you could get to a point mathematically, right, where it's like 2, 2, 2, 2. It's all nice and split. It's perfectly even. There's no way. There's always going to be an imbalance in a 3 hero draft set, which is kind of what makes draft interesting with 3 hero draft sets. Especially if they all end up being
like
more
2 are one and 1 is another. Just my balance thing.
It's fine. I think it'll be interesting because Icelander might be worse in draft because of that, but then better in constructed because she has 2 sets that have ice cards prior to her existence that she can get access to. Like she immediately comes in with a decent pool of cards, whereas the Draconic heroes this is their set. Like this is the set they're getting Draconic supported, which makes it a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to feel about that until we get it and to see the abilities and what else these cards bring. What is it called?
Yeah.
What is talents? What talents? I always forget what they call it. What talents?
I mean,
we
talents
we
are
obviously know Draconic.
Ice. It's ice and Draconic. That's their talents.
So you think that'll be they won't be a fire talent?
I don't think so. I think it's ice and Draconic. I think that's what we're gonna get. I think Draconic will take the place of fire. It will just be called Draconic, but it will be fire oriented.
So in Icelander's story, is she returning home for something, or like is there a family reunion? Or
she has. The too long didn't read version is she lives in Aria. She's in Aria. She starts having these she has these memories of a place, and she basically realizes it's Volcor and she needs to go back because she's trying to basically figure out who she is.
Whoa.
It's like it's kind of another
Aria,
lost hero.
and she wasn't released as a
She was released as a hero in Aria.
No, but she could have
Everfest.
The issue. I know, but I'm just saying.
Right. Yes. But she's now traveling back. She's kind of like a lost soul going back, trying to find her way. There's actually a really cool piece of art.
So maybe she has a Draconic ability on her card.
Well, we already know Icelander's card.
Yeah, you've seen it.
You've seen Icelander's card.
Which one is it? I don't remember this stuff. I'm old.
It's she's literally we've seen Icelander and we've seen adult Icelander. It's on the adult Icelander card. Like the one that's in the
well, what is her abilities? I don't remember.
Panel.
I don't remember. I don't remember seeing her card.
It's
exact same.
It's exactly, but just that Icelander. It's called her now.
Icelander Stormbind.
Yeah, Stormbind.
Oh, she just has the essence of ice.
Essence of ice. Okay, that's what it says. So it just says the essence of ice on hers.
Yep. Yeah, which I assume, I don't know how they'll word it for Draconic, but I assume that it's going to be they're going to use it as like the what they are, you know.
I bet they just have a Draconic at the bottom. And
yeah,
I don't think it's going to be the same thing as like.
Because how is Prism?
Yeah, she doesn't have essence of light. She doesn't. It's just
she doesn't.
Light.
She's just a light illusionist. Yeah, so they could just be a draconic illusionist and a draconic ninja.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see. Like we kind of talked about the illusionist. I'm curious to see how they approach ninja in the same kind of way that they modified Guardian. Because if you look at how they adjusted Guardian, there's two separate things. Hit effects are very important. But if you look at the new Elemental Guardian stuff, they're just hit effects. They're not crush effects. OG Guardian, function has always been crush effects. But then what they did to balance that was say, okay, well, now you don't have to crush to get the effect. You have to fuse. So now you have to be able to like reveal a card.
You're saying you're curious what like the carryover is or what the common ground is.
Right.
Like it might not be the combo keyword, but it might be sequencing card plays. Is always that's
correct.
Like what ninjas do is like you have to it's not going to be called combo, but there's going to be like benefits for sequencing, like getting exponentially larger or whatever it is.
Something will happen that is a product of cards being played in sequence, but not combo cards per se. Even if it's just like your last
legendaries is standard wizard equipment.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like them to use this as an opportunity to support Kano in some way, because it will be
wizard cards.
Yeah, there should be generic wizard cards. There will be generic illusionist cards and generic ninja cards, which is really cool. I like seeing heroes. I'm a big fan. I was very excited personally to see that they're doing 3 existing classes and not giving us a new class.
Yep,
I know a lot of people are like, oh, give us necromancer or assassin. I'm like, no. Let's support the classes that the game has. Let's make the game wider, not like
deeper,
let's make
wider.
The game taller, not wider. Yeah, I want the card pool to be deeper so that way we can get more interesting builds. So that way, if we have 2 illusionists, they can theoretically be 4 illusionist decks, not just 2 because we only have 2 illusionists. You know what I mean?
At this point, I think if you bring a new class in, like I would love to see a necromancer class, you'd almost have to you'd have to give it such a heavy card pool, to make it playable, or it'd have to be draconic where you get those types of cards, or it'd have to be Shadow, which I think Shadow would be great, and give it all that card pool. So you'd have to go pretty heavy into one of the talents, in one of the thicker talents, to make it work for new heroes, which I'm sure they will do as they expand the card pool of talent only cards, which this set will be another important set of talent ice cards. What is Oldham and Lexi going to get to support them more? Able to throw arrows from their hand without a bow. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens there.
I like that so far. Like one of the things that they did for Icelander that I think is huge, that I wish they would have done for like Lexi, is they gave her some ice wizard non-attacks. So Ice Bolt is an ice wizard non-attack action card, which means you can fuse with a spell, which is huge. So you can fuse with a blue Ice Bolt and then arsenal it and fire it off at instant speed on your opponent's turn, which is something that like Lexi really needed, was just like one arrow, or Oldham needed was like one attack that said ice before the thing. Because it gives them
Pretty
more
important.
flexibility in their fuses and what they're able to do with their cards. And when you're asking a hero to manage a lot more things like in combination with one another, you need to give them a little bit more ability to use some of the generic things or to use things twice, because only being able to use a card as an arrow or basically as a fuse piece, because it's not great to do anything else with, is tough. But I think that Oldhim and Lexi both got some advantage now in the fact that they're getting like the channel, Bleak Expanse and some of those cards that are just ice cards that will replace some of the bad ice cards that they were running. Like Winter's Bite isn't a great card for them. It doesn't do enough. Like you don't want to play that card. They were just using it to fuse and fuse and fuse, or fuse Arsenal, flip, and then play. So it was like it was a weird card that was in the deck because the ice pool was small, and now something like Channel Bleak Expanse can come in and take the place of some of those cards and kind of prop the deck up. And it's cool because I think that those two decks will actually see some benefits to some of their builds with this set a lot, which is great.
Yep. Agreed.
No, I'm excited for like a very new meta. Just have to wait 2 more months for it to get here, but I'm excited when it does arrive. It will be the other cool release announcement is the big release party in Vegas again in June. And did I read it correctly that the calling is going to be a Blitz team event?
Wait, what did I miss?
When did you? Yeah,
I
haven't read anything, guys, so I need you guys to update me. I'm real,
celebrate the release. So celebrate the release of Uprising with a massive sealed deck event on Friday, a team Blitz calling on Saturday, 3 different heroes per team, and for those who like to battle until the very end, a battle hardened to round out the weekend on Sunday. So they're doing a team calling.
Oh, the Dragons are coming on a legendary Dragons of Volcor playmat. Yo. And event exclusive Dragons of Volcor Dragon Shields.
Well, that shouldn't surprise anybody. I mean, come on. If they didn't have Dragon Shield at a Dragon event, I would have just had to leave the game. I'm like, okay, you name all these people after they're so obvious, and then you don't even use. This is probably why they started Dragon Shields now, is they knew this were coming out. And they're like, we got to get this partnership going. We can't release a Dragon set and not
really
have
pushed
Dragon
it through
Shields with our Dragons.
Yeah. So wait, do all 3 heroes get 100 points for the calling win? How does that work?
That's a great question.
It's a roll a D3.
None of them get points.
You roll a D3.
Well,
you line them up like MVPs in Blood Bowl, and you roll a D3.
Yep.
Whoever wins it they get the 100 calling points. Sorry, we're stuck on Blood Bowl. We got Blood Bowl playoffs going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And painting. Blood Bowl's good.
But we're not bored of the meta.
No.
Unrelated.
Unrelated. I do think so. I'm curious what you guys think about one thing, which is the way that they've brought Icelander into the game. So she coming in as a Blitz hero and existing as a Blitz hero for a little bit, and then coming, obviously this was like a really quick turnaround hero because she came in Everfest and now she's an adult immediately after an Uprising. But using that as like a transition point is kind of cool, and using it as like a, it's like, okay, well, this happens now. Up to this point, we hadn't seen a young hero and the adult hero version in the game. So it's kind of cool that we now have the first example of getting a young hero in the game first and then seeing an adult version of it, right?
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen. Spoiler alert. Okay. This is my big brain tinfoil cap. Marvel Rare Draconic Kano coming in this set. Be more broken than Briar, more broken than Seeds Chase, more broken than new Bravo. You just set up and the card says, if you play this, you win. Roll a dice if the two of you. That's
the ultimate,
the new
ultimate pay to win.
Flush it down the toilet. Drano.
I just realized it made me really sad. That
What's
those
that?
arts that we see are probably their adult arts. Because they're not the arts that are on the. I got really hopeful. So I was like, I'm not a big fan of the Draw My Art. I think we talked about this before. But I was looking, I was like, maybe it's their young arts. And I looked at the Blitz decks and it's not. So that's gonna be the adult art.
No, she's gonna have an awkward looking leg for her entirety of her adult life. So what happened here? Ryan Dragon got caught in the stirrup, had a hard landing, kind of stretched out that side of her leg, little deformed. It happens, okay? That's why she's sitting down. It happened right at her youth. She's sitting down at the desk in the youth. It was a fresh accident. A little awkward.
You know what this is, right? This is a classic. Like, we could start something in the comments of this one, or maybe if it doesn't take off on its own, maybe we force it into the main group. This is like the Office episode where they try to determine whether or not Hilary Swank is just attractive or if she's hot. Is Dromai, is she actually misshapen, or is she correctly proportioned, but something about the angle is wrong? And then someone's going to do the Oscar thing and like draw all the lines and give us measurements and be like, look, mathematically, she is correctly proportionate. Therefore, she is attractive, but attractive does not mean hot. Like, that's going to, how is that
know
not
exactly what the issue is.
What's that?
I will tell you what the issue is. I have it. Okay. Do you ready? So I'm gonna blow your mind. This is the issue.
Good.
She has no fucking hamstring. It's a straight line from her knee to her ass. She has no hamstring.
Yeah, it does look awkward like that. It almost looks like her leg goes up a little bit.
Like the muscle, your leg wouldn't look like that.
She's just riding around.
Maybe she just
all the time.
She just never retracts. She never retracts her leg.
Yeah. She needs to do leg curls.
She's rich. Look, she's from the family. She is Azula. She doesn't have to work at all in her life. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I had a dragon, I would ride it all the time. Like,
you probably wouldn't have a hamstring.
And I wouldn't have a hamstring. I'd be super weirdly disproportionate.
Evidenced by Azula.
By this art.
Right there. Yeah. Well, there we go. We've solved that. No hamstring.
Oh, fuck, dude. The guy's got a scar on half his face. I didn't notice that before. It's literally Zuko.
Yeah. You didn't notice that?
I didn't notice the scar.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a direct copy.
It's so much worse.
Oh, God. No, it's a direct.
Oh, my God. That's so
it's
funny.
It's a direct copy.
Oh, that's.
I don't mind it.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm totally cool with it. And we're gonna go to
I think
oh God, wait till we go to Mysteria and the air temples and stuff.
Oh geez, we're gonna reveal it's Aang is gonna be the air temple.
We're gonna get the monk class. He's gonna be bald.
No, you know what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna look up airbender characters. Oh, there's a guy called Aang. He's got a blue arrow. What if they put a blue arrow?
That's the avatar. Head? He's the main character of the show.
We always know which way he's going.
I enjoy that Jason doesn't know it, only because like the reveals of seeing the characters is great.
Yeah, that was good.
We're gonna get a Beastmaster class, and they're gonna have something that looks like Appa. That's what it's gonna happen. And then we're gonna find out there's a group of Earth wizards in the Savage Lands that come to find it. They're just Toph. They're just Earthbenders. Mm-hmm. They defend themselves from the brutes by shaping Earth into mounds that protect them. They fight with the Earth.
I'm okay with all of this.
There's a character in Airbender called Pipsqueak. And he's got a little guy on him, and it's totally Keith and Pidge from Voltron.
Oh yeah.
You guys You guys
Voltron
didn't
was
watch
sweet.
Voltron.
Yeah, I did.
Watch Voltron.
Voltron.
I
No,
love
that
Voltron.
was 100%. I've seen every episode of Voltron. Love Voltron.
Yeah, I like Voltron. Good stuff. The new Voltron's good.
All right. So, do we want to get into like specific spoilers for?
Yes.
No.
Yes, let's do
I'm
it.
down.
do?
Icelander.
We can do it now. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's talk.
Unless you guys have something
Icelander
else.
spoilers.
I don't want to jump
No.
the gun. We got.
No.
No.
All right,
We've been
then.
rambling
We can-
about
Random
Last
shit
Airbender.
long enough.
We can hit him. We can hit him quick.
So
Start
thoughts
us off with
on
one.
so channel Bleak Expanse. So
Mhm.
again, heroes can't reveal cards, search cards, or draw cards from effects. And then it has the channel ice effect that we see on Lake Frigid. What do you guys I
Great-
think this
Great
card
new Bravo. He'll be dead.
it's great in a new Bravo. He'll be dead when this card comes out. He'll be dead before this card comes out. It's interesting because like it's really good into like fuse decks because they can't reveal cards. It has like that weird effect where it's just going to hit Katsu because you can't Katsu. You're just like, yeah, no, that's fine. You got that second piece of the combo or not there, buddy?
I just
Draw
like
cards.
that.
Draw cards. Is awesome.
No, as soon as somebody goes Art of War,
Yeah.
I will +1 draw 2. In response, I'm gonna channel Bleak your ass, and you will draw nothing, and you
Yeah.
will still banish that card.
You
How do
will
you
get
like
nothing.
me now?
A good day, sir. A good day. You get nothing. You lose.
I will say this
Yo, Lewis.
with this card, I'm at a 75%. If I can put a card with channel in my deck, it will probably go in there. That's 75% true. Only Thunderstep can suck it, but maybe it'll be better now.
New keyword
Yeah.
or new? Yeah, is that keyword?
Yeah.
Freeze?
So
What suck
That's
it?
dope.
yeah.
Oh,
In case. In
Yeah,
case. I like in case is 0 for 3, which is a good, arcane rate
Mhm.
all day long. Ice fusion is cool because if it was fused and deals damage to a hero, freeze that hero and all equipment they control until the start of your next turn. It's so good. So good. Just not letting people interact with their equipment for a turn.
They won't be able to use Blood Sheet. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. Blood Sheet will. do
LSS
like that.
played in case.
I do like that, like it locks them out of like a tunic resource or stuff like that. I think it's really good. I think it. To me, this
So,
is the kind of. I
can
think
we
this
talk
is the
about
kind of thing.
something?
That game. What's that?
Can we talk about something?
Mhm.
What
Yes.
happened? What
It's literally the
happened
point of the
between
podcast.
young Ice? What happened? What bad things happened to Icelander between her young self and her old self? Like some shit.
You really
happened,
want
some
you
shit
really want to
went
know?
down.
You want to know what
Look,
happened?
I mean, there's some like bearish, like cougar type thing in the background. Like, what the fuck is this weirdo doing? Like, I don't even understand the card art in it.
What she ended up doing was letting it go.
It's called the glow
Oh,
up.
so
Jason.
she's a
You
Disney movie now, Frozen. She's
you never
literally
heard of the
Frozen.
never heard of the glow up?
Yeah, dude, she glue up.
She glowed up.
She
Interesting.
definitely has a bunch of cats at home. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, but they're like tigers. They're snow leopards.
Well, one of them's in the background. Like, can you guys? I'm hungry. You haven't fed me yet today.
That'd be cool if she had a familiar.
Quit.
That'd be dope.
Quit playing with the
If
snow.
if like this is gonna be like an ally set, that'd be cool if she had like a snow leopard familiar or like a white tiger familiar or some shit.
So one
What's
thing
just a
about the
weird picture, like the drawing in the back. It just
Yeah, I don't understand
mean,
what's happening with
it's
that
not
animal.
good.
That animal's a little
Yeah.
it's sus, but like I don't.
it's interesting that they had to make a new one because of the token. They needed a token version of it, right?
They could have. I mean,
the
the
Majestic.
previous one wasn't a token, right?
But her original art wasn't a token, but that would be the issue is you can't just put that same art on a card.
Why?
You don't want to copy the art from a Majestic onto a token
no,
because
but,
then
I mean,
It's not like a
makes it-
cold
they've
foil.
told her before they painted her to put on a decent outfit for at least, for God's sakes.
Looking a little.
that's
flubby.
her
Well, I
lost
didn't even
it.
realize that is the young one. I thought that was the old one, and she aged horribly.
Oh no,
doesn't-
the old
that makes
one.
even less sense.
The
to me
old
now.
one
Have you
is-
seen the old one? The old one's fucking dope looking.
It looks
Amazing.
I don't think I've seen the old one.
Oh, you haven't seen Adult Icelander yet? my
Oh,
God,
there.
Jason.
No, I'm just looking at it right now.
Icelander
I've only saw-
Stormbind. It's
Okay,
fucking
so
odd.
what,
That card's gonna
she's
be
gone through
fucking
some
amazing.
periods. She's gone through some periods in her life.
She
here,
ebbed
going
and
through
We call
flowed.
this-
Yeah.
We call this
Yeah.
the glow up, Jason. Okay.
Okay,
This is
go
the glow
to
up.
Okay,
go to the Discord, the general Discord.
I found the good one now. I
Yeah,
have it.
okay,
I got the new version.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way better.
Yeah. I'm gonna need that in cold foil ASAP.
For sure. Okay. All right. Then we've got Icebind. Oh, okay. Ice Bolt we already talked about.
Ice Bolt.
That's just
Ice
dope.
Bolt. Yeah, Ice
Ice
Bolt.
the fact that it has
it's
ice
a very
on
good
it
card.
is awesome.
Yeah,
Frostbite.
ice on it is good. Yep.
Yep.
Ice
All right.
Eternal.
Ice Bind. Did we talk about Ice Bind? Do you,
We haven't talked about Icebind yet. No. So that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Ice Fusion
unless
deal
you're,
one
unless you're
arcane.
buffing
Yep.
this somehow. Unless you're buffing this somehow, I mean, this is where stir from Arsenal into this.
I think
That's
this is more of
something a little
a
more.
the opponent can never dump their hand or not leave resources
Yep.
floating.
Yeah.
You can never.
It puts them in a
it
weird
just
spot.
adds weird math. Like if you're playing Icelander, you have to constantly do weird additional math.
I think you want to play this because it ends at the start
of your next turn.
So if
You
you,
wanna
do
play it
this
on your
on
turn.
their turn, it will immediately end. But if you do it
Sure.
on your turn, if you
Yeah.
do it on your turn, I think this is better. I think you want to buff
That's
this
fair.
on your
That's
turn.
totally fair.
I
realize
will
that it
say-
ended.
Yeah, I will say it is interesting though, because one of the things that you can do with this card is if they're playing a deck right where you think they're sitting on Snatch or something like that, or they got a Tunic resource and a card in Arsenal, but you can put them in a weird spot where you just come at them with Icebind from your Arsenal with they have no resources floating, and it's like, yeah, you either take 1 damage, you give me that Tunic, but regardless, that card in your Arsenal, you don't get it. Like you're not going to be able to pay for it if it's a 1 cost, or you just lock them out. Like if you look at
Oh,
someone,
guys,
Plus,
it's
they're getting a
like-
frostbite.
It's a common. It's gonna probably be blue, yellow, red, and the
Yeah,
red's
yeah,
gonna do 3.
yeah. red will be 3, but the blue you can play from Arsenal, and it's a
But
3
you don't want to do
block
it on their turn
blue.
anyways, right? You don't want to do it on their turn
Right.
anyways. So then blue doesn't
You
matter.
You'd still give them a frostbite
Can.
and mess with them.
You could give them a frostbite, and if it hits them, it freezes their Arsenal. So it puts them in a weird
Mhm.
spot where if they have a card in Arsenal and that you think they're going to have an aggressive turn and they're going to use that to fight to like hit you with it, now you put them in a weird spot where it's like, well, you have to pay for it,
Yeah.
because if you don't pay for it, and also if you don't have enough resources, you can't pay for it anyway, because now you're going to get. I could
Mhm.
freeze your
Getting a
Arsenal
frostbite
and
no
give you a
matter what,
frostbite.
and then
Yep.
also dealing an arcane. Yep. No, I got
Yeah,
you.
this will be good. It'll be good into red decks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there going to be red
specialization.
decks?
Gosh,
Is there going to be red
stuff.
decks next set? Dromai, what's up?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Her specialization
I love.
looks
the-
amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ice Eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks yeah. The fact that so one of the cool things, Dave and I were talking about this, and I don't think there's like a huge secret, so I don't think I'm spilling anything. Dave will message me after he hears the podcast if I'm spilling some juicy stuff. But one of the cool things is this card actually kind of makes like Amulet of Ice really good,
Mhm.
because you can just frostbite them to death. You can dump your whole hand in a frostbite if you have amulets out, and then basically use amulets, pop them to make them to like rip their hand, so they can't pay to do anything. So they literally can't afford to get their frostbites gone. And then you
Mhm.
have you have frost hex out, and you basically go, here's 9 frostbites. Also give me 6 resources to my ice amulets, or discard all your cards. And then then you have frost
So
hex
what's-
that comes in and goes, I'm going to deal you 1
So
arcane
the
for all of those.
most
Mm-hmm.
the most you could get out would be you would pitch 4 and 4, infuse with 1, because you would have if you had 4 blues and this in your arsenal, the most you could make on their
Right.
turn would be 4, and then do everything, and then you'd have to fuse it, so you couldn't use that card, and then but it'd still do a ton of damage,
Right,
and
because if you have like
completely
2
shut down their turn.
Well,
if you have two frost hexes out, and at the end of their turn it will deal them an arcane for each one, but it'll deal them 2 arcane for each one. So if
Now-
you dump a bunch of frostbites on them, and if you know what I mean, like it puts them in a weird spot.
But if you
for
have
sure.
if you just do 3 and 3, and leave 2 floating, and you have Tunic up because you might play Tunic in this deck. And then after you give them all the Frostbites and take their resources, you hit them with the Kraken for 1 to get a card back in hand. Now you have 2 cards and can still attack them on your turn. This is great. I love this.
Well,
this deck is going to be cool.
Well, I mean, you could make it 6 and 6, right? If you've got a handful of blues. And
we need a card to fuse.
No, you have to fuse.
You got to fuse.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So realistically, right, the best case scenario is you have 4 blues, you pitch 3 blues and pop your Tunic. It's 10, so it's 5 and 5. Because then you can give them 5 Frostbites. If you have Frost Hex up, then you can pop amulets and like make them get rid of cards so they can't afford to do anything because they have to be able to pay enough to get over the Frostbites. So even if they have like a 1-cost thing, they need 6 resources to do anything. At the end of their turn, they take all the damage from Frost Hex. If you have 2 Frost Hexes out, now they take 10 damage, which is just crazy.
Well, I just love the aspect of like her playing really control-y and being able to just like play consistently, like play a Frost Hex, come back around, play a Frost Hex, come back around. You know what I mean? And like get those out to build for the late game where all of your Frostbites are now causing you to take 3,
right?
Which is crazy.
They have to do something about their frost. They can't just keep Frostbites, and then they get in a weird spot where you can just wait until after they spend all their resources, and at the end of the turn, you just kind of poke them with any ice card. You can play any ice card and just give them a Frostbite, and it's 3 damage.
How are people? Let's see. Destroy target ice affliction. I'm guessing that's how they get rid of Frost Hex.
Yeah. Frost Hex is an ice affliction, so is hypothermia.
So it's hypothermia, which hypothermia is crazy.
Yeah.
So thaw, they're gonna have more than 1 card.
It can't just be. It can't. That's the thing is like it can't just be Draconic that answers this because what the fuck is OG Bravo gonna do into?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to have a generic
something
way to destroy affliction cards or auras in a different way. You can't just be like, everybody else is screwed.
I mean, to be fair, we need more aura interaction in the game anyway. Like that's just something that 100% we need more of, right?
Auras are a thing now with lots of different classes, which is fine. I'm okay with that if all the classes have them.
Yeah, I like the dichotomy arts. I really like Thaw and I really like Cold Snap. Those are both like super dope arts to me. I think Thaw's my favorite though.
Yeah, I think that this set definitely is one of those sets where they have to print generic cards that have aura interaction. I don't even care if they do it in like the Majestic slot, like Runic Reclamation. If they print just a couple generics in that have interaction with auras, so that way it's possible to get rid of some of these cards. Because that's
just another effing amazing common. You think of it, if you're running Tunic, who knows if you will in this, but just Tunic that out, give them a Frostbite. I mean, God, there's so much you can do because you're going to get a card anyway.
I really love the precedent that they're setting with Thaw too, because that's new design space where a card serves multi-purposes, where it's like you get to play it as an attack, and then in your graveyard it does a thing as well. Like that's really cool.
That's why I thought maybe we were going to get Necromancer when I saw that card. I'm like, ooh, that's graveyard recursion, but I like that it has that ability. That's a super cool ability.
That'd be a really cool design space actually, where it's like it doesn't do a lot when you play it, and it doesn't do a lot from your graveyard, but being able to like being able to do both is like what gives it that balance. Then being able to like sequence off that'd be really cool. That'd be a tight necromantic build.
And it's a 2-block.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the cool things about Thaw is actually the fact that if you look at the card, right, like it's really good. It's a card that is good in the deck that you don't feel bad about using against a Herald. Like if you're playing into Prism, you feel great popping it because you want it in your graveyard anyway. Like it's a fine card, and it's kind of cool for them to present some cards that you would like in your graveyard because it creates another layer to the game. And then all of a sudden there's what is it called? There's a one of the talismans lets you banish cards from your opponent's graveyard. So you can try, like you can potentially run talisman. to try and interact.
Those are some of those potions and things are definitely going to be used a lot. I mean, there's a reason they put all those out, is so that those are available for some of these decks, like you said.
Talisman of Cremation.
There was no reason to banish cards previously, except for against Viscera. You might want to play that to get the swarmings out. Yeah, because those things reoccur too many times. Yeah. But I like that they're putting more cards to give you more reasons to play a more diverse deck.
Yeah. They gave us I like this. This is something we kind of talked about that I brought up, which is I like when card games give answers, not when they ban cards. I don't like the concept of being like, a card is really good, let's ban it. It's like, well, if a card is good, answer it. Give people a way to deal with problems as opposed to just banning a card because it's good. Try to solve that problem.
I think that depends on the problem, though. Like if it's like a really truly bad mechanic, instead of adding I feel like that's almost feels like DBS or Yu-Gi-Oh, where like if there's this card does something really crazy, like let's just make this other really crazy card. Like that snowballs. So fast.
I'm not saying like snowball like that. I'm saying cards that have a generic power level that are good, but they can get out of hand. Like too much of something becomes a problem, right? Rune Chants, Soul Shackles, auras, items, things that stay in play or that can stack and create issues in this game are a prime example of something that should have answers and should have ways to be targetable. Printing Scour is a great example of a card that says, look, if Viscera becomes really good or Chain becomes good, here's a card that directly targets that thing that helps your win con, but doesn't just auto kill them because it's not equipment that interacts with them. It's 3 cards in the deck. Same with like Smashing Good Time. Like it's a card that needs to exist because it opens up some design space for Dash, but also gives like aggro decks the chance to not just be, pew-pewed out of games.
Yep. I agree.
It's like, I like that. I like that balance. I like that they're giving some answers. They're giving some things that are interesting where it goes, okay, this card isn't, it's not broken, but it's a card that exists and it's good to exist. It needs to destroy a Frostbite, destroy an Affliction, unfreeze a card. Like those kind of cards, you need to create that as kind of a countermeasure. Some of this stuff,
Absolutely.
I also like that Cold Snap is a flexible card. I don't necessarily know that like Cold Snap is one of those cards that's, I don't know that like Oldhim cares much about it, but Lexi I think likes the card a lot because it allows them, it's a good ice card similar to like Polar Blast, but she already has ways to get Dominate. Like she can get Dominate with Weave Ice, and Polar Blast was kind of overkill, whereas Cold Snap actually interacts with them where it's like, oh, I can freeze my opponent's arsenal so they can't defense reaction me if I lightning press them. And it kind of puts people in a weird spot where it's like, well, you get to pay 1 or I get to, and she can flip it for the Frostbite. She can play it off of Tunic and draw a card. It's like such a plus card for her potentially to do something, which I think is a really good thing to have too.
Yeah, it's going to add a lot of
I'm excited for a true control deck finally.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for Icelander.
Not a fatigue deck.
You're
That's
right.
the big.
Correct.
People always assume they're like, well, Oldhim is a control deck. You're like, no, Oldhim is a fatigue deck. Interestingly enough, this game has 2 unique control-y strategies. One of them has a win con of controlling to like killing you. One of them has that just says sometimes I'm just gonna run you out of cards because that's effectively killing you. Like she does that thing. Like Icelander has a cool thing where it's like she can interact with you in a way where she can manipulate your game state and then pop you for a bunch of damage.
That's what I was talking about with Lexi. You guys remember? I was trying to explain. I was like, I like the active control, not passive control. And I was using those terms. That's what I was talking about though, is like Icelander will be doing something to interact with you or make you play the way that she wants you to play, not sitting there and just, mitigating everything.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I feel vindicated.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't think it ever happened.
if the things you don't remember never happened, Jason, I don't know what to tell you. because that's a really boring world.
A lot of shit never happened. And that's what
getting
that's what you can tell me.
All right. Anything else?
What else do you guys got?
Yeah.
Have we done enough for today? Have we
got
talked
nothing.
enough?
I got nothing. Yeah.
The new rarity Marvel. So is Bravo considered a Marvel rarity? Is that what that's being called now? The full
He's
art?
not
Yeah,
a
we'll
Marvel
say
rarity.
yes.
Okay.
He's not, because the Marvel is a specific rarity.
Okay. Oh, is there actually like a
It's.
rare
I think
symbol?
that was a teaser for
It's
Marvel.
a new. It's a new symbol.
Bravo was a
Oh, yeah, purple
Marvel
triangle.
rarity teaser.
Yep.
Purple triangle.
And they
like a
haven't
Dracona.
revealed if you look at the breakdown in the product sheet, it
Mhm.
has numbers for everything but the Marvel. But it, like, normally it tells you like, oh, we're gonna have this many of that, this many of that. It's 1 cold foil per display, 1 rainbow foil per pack, 2 rare or higher per pack, 1 rare and then 1 rare or majestic, 11 common per pack, and then 2 tokens. And it says in the set, 1 fable, 6 legendary, 27 majestic, 51 rare, 125 commons, 16 tokens, and question mark marvels. 16 tokens is really high, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me because they went up to. They have 16 cards, so.
Right. No, I'm just saying it's interesting because it's 16 tokens.
Lots of
I'm
weapons.
curious what all the
Lots
tokens.
of weapons.
That'd be cool.
That would
They
be
have to ban
that
one
would,
immediately. They just throw
Yeah.
more out there.
just put a bunch of weapons out there and see what happens. Throw a bunch of ideas at the wall, see what sticks.
Dracona Optimi is fucking up that little blue dragon. It's really badass art.
Yeah, that art's so cool.
And I really like the border for the Draconic Illusionist. Sweet. All right, cool. Well, that's all I got. I'm pumped. I
Yeah.
like it. I'm looking forward to the set for sure. Really
Yeah.
bummed about the meta. But
Yeah.
We don't talk about the meta.
keep it positive. We'll end on a positive note.
note.
I know you're gonna say that. God, that song is addictive. We actually watched that as adults. Like,
Oh, it's so good.
we watched that
It's
with
really
my
good.
son who's 17.
Yes, I mean,
An amazing movie. Amazing.
so good. Very
Wait,
good.
what
Very good
movie?
movie.
I missed what Blake said.
I said we don't talk about meta. We don't talk about meta. We don't talk about
Over my
meta.
haven't
head.
seen-
No idea.
Oh,
You've never
the new Disney.
wait, what?
What movie?
Encanto. You've never seen
no.
Encanto?
I haven't seen Encanto. I haven't seen Big Red. Is that what that one is?
Yeah. Going
Yeah.
Red?
Encanto's
Okay,
probably
yeah,
one of the
Encanto's
best
really good.
movies I've seen
Turning
in a
Red.
long time. The
Yes,
music,
it's very good. Yep.
the story was just about family and being
Neither
good to your
Chelsea
family.
or I have seen it.
No undertones. Just an overall great movie.
See, neither Chelsea or I have seen Encanto, and it's because the boys watched it in school, and then they didn't want to watch it. Like Sheldon's indifferent towards it. So
you
it's
guys just watch it anyway.
yeah.
You know,
Just
We
watch
have
it.
to.
It's good.
Stephanie Beatrice plays the main character, which is great because she's like peppy and upbeat. It's like when she was in the Heights. It makes no sense to my brain to see Rosa Diaz as like a peppy, happy person because you're just used to her as playing
As
Rosa.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. And then John Leguizamo plays Bruto, which is
Which is
amazing
perfect.
because I love John Leguizamo. I love John Leguizamo. He's
Another
great.
movie that I haven't seen is the what's the fish one, or where it's like the mer boys, like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like a Pixar.
Nope.
Oh,
they turn like they get
I
water
haven't seen it.
splashed on them and turn into
You
like
know what you're
rainbow
talking about?
mermaids.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
No, that's gonna kill me.
Is it
All right,
Luca?
on
I'm looking
that
it up.
Luca.
Gotta watch that.
Boom. Hold it
It's
up.
good.
All right.
That one's good too.
Well, it looks like we are done. So, everybody, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us. Sorry about missing last week. A bunch of adult stuff hit all of us all at the same time. So,
Yeah.
we are adjusting our schedules a little bit to accommodate because we don't want to miss a week like that again. Luckily, it was right before a whole bunch of stuff dropped. And there was nothing really, I guess, last week to talk about. So, we're good. And this will release.
Yeah.
I will do this a little early, right? We'll put this up before Friday.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but this will also count as Fridays. So we'll just split the difference for these 2 weeks here.
Yep.
Sounds good.
We're recording Monday night, so if anything happens Tuesday or whenever, sorry, we'll talk about it next time. But appreciate you guys' patience. Thanks for joining us, and we will talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.
All right.